You want to try again?
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the HollingsWorthless program. This will be for two Wednesdays. Wednesday, March 20th, 2019, of our Lord
and Savior.
As always, I am one of your hosts, Big Irish J. Hollingsworth. And back and strong as ever, we have...
Cocaine.
Kane Holloway is back. So
Revved
much.
up.
It's been 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Oh, Kane.
Oh, man. I've had quite the 3 weeks.
You got the text I sent you with all the stuff, right?
Yes, I got it sitting right here.
Where do we start? So I was in Massachusetts the last 3 weeks.
Yeah. Bumming around old fucking Boston way, kid.
Jack Galvin, he subbed in for you honorably.
Yes, he did. And I hear he did a grand job. Fantastic on stage, and was a fun
you were going to go.
Fun dude to go on the road with.
Remember you were going to go?
I was going to go.
Remember you canceled it?
Yeah, I canceled it.
Why'd you cancel it?
Oh, because I had other work that I thought was going to catapult me in some direction.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Why don't we just make it... I'm gonna put my worthless of the week. I'm gonna make it worthless of the month. I'm gonna make it a worthless. I'm gonna put like a quick. This rule only applies if it's something that really irritates you.
Are we having a new category?
New category. I'm bringing in. It is overall worthless. It's not of the week. It's not of the month. It's not of the year. If you do this thing, you are a worthless hunk of shit, and I don't care who you are or what happened to you.
Let it out.
You do this?
Yes.
You are worthless forever.
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 For fucking ever.
Ever. So I had some work booked with Jay at Boston that Jack subbed in for, and then I got hit up by a very good friend of mine. And he said, "Hey, I'll get you in at this club."
Yeah.
And
it was going to pay more money.
Which
I was like, I wanted you to go. Originally Jack was going to host for us.
Right.
I was sad that you weren't going, but
yes, I love trips to Boston.
As comics, we know it's like you're like, I get it. It's more money.
More money. It's
and it's a new club you're getting in.
Yeah, it's less time on the road, which can give you fatigue after a while, but more money, and you get into a new club. So I'm gonna do that instead. And I've been the guy that booked me. I've been working for him, writing for him, doing all kinds of stuff for him.
Right.
All kinds of stuff.
Right.
For this motherfucker. And let me just say, he has also done things that are very nice. He gave me the TV that's mounted on my wall.
Very nice.
He was like, I was doing some work for him, and he said, "Want my TV?" And I said, "I won't say no."
Yeah.
I'm like, "You sure? Do you want any money for it?" He said yes and no to the other ones. Yeah. And then, so what? So he's done nice things for me. This is shit. So he decides out of nowhere he tells me, "Don't do any more work."
Okay.
Don't do any more work, even though there was a pre-talked about this is a set number of hours you work per the week because you need to pay your bills because we're not all millionaires. We don't all make shitloads of money.
Right.
And so this guy who lives in his own fucking financial bubble, I don't know if he thinks everybody's... I don't know if he thinks like, all right, when something bad happens to me, it happens to everybody, so everybody can understand it. And then when something good happens to me, it all happens to everybody. And now that I'm a millionaire, isn't the whole world up to where I am financially? Obviously, because he wouldn't have done this horse shit. So he just ghosts me for a while.
Okay.
He just decides he's just gonna ghost me. No work, and then he's like, you know what? I'm not gonna respond to your text messages or your phone calls.
How long?
At all. For 2 weeks.
Oh, Jesus.
For 2 weeks.
And those 2 weeks you're supposedly working for him.
I'm supposed to be, doing stuff. And he told me, don't do stuff anymore. And I've been trying to get this guy to do all kinds of shit. He's like, can you write me some punchlines? Yeah, sure, I can write you some punchlines. Here's some punchlines. And then
You must have really not liked those.
I don't even know,
punchlines.
dude. I could make the case for that. Certainly. I could be like, yeah, maybe I'm a shitty joke writer.
I mean, totally believable.
100%.
Yeah, totally can see that.
I knew it was coming when I started saying the sentence. I'm like, as soon as I say this, he's going to say I'm a shitty joke writer to begin with, even when I'm not getting paid to do it. And so I can concede that point, but I don't even know.
Did you ever get feedback on like?
No.
So they was like, hey, write some punchlines for me, and you're like, here's 50, and no, thanks, no, these
nothing.
are great.
Because he wouldn't check. He wouldn't even fucking check the emails.
Yeah.
So even he doesn't know they're good enough. Or good or bad. Like he doesn't know to tell me they're good or bad or to change things.
I mean, we know.
I mean, obviously we know they're gutbusters. They're amazing. They'll blow the roof off of the place. It'll catapult his career in directions that'll never work for me. But he decides he's not even going to check the emails. And then all of a sudden, the boss underling type of relationship, it all of a sudden flips. It flips where I'm like, hey man, you checking those emails? You checking those emails? Hey, I sent you a bunch of fucking
You're like,
emails.
hey, I think we're gonna have a talk.
Yeah.
It's like you're like,
hey man, check the emails. Oh, I'll get back. Yeah, I'll check them. It's been a busy. Man, I had a rough day. I'm sick. He always had some sort of horseshit excuse about why he couldn't do something. I'm like, why the fuck are you making excuses for me? You pay me.
yeah.
Why are you making excuses? So that was the relationship, and it was for anything, for anything. Just pick a thing that a lowly assistant does, and that was the thing. And he just he would never get back to me unless it was pressing, unless it was like, hey man, if you don't do this now,
Oh Jesus,
if you don't
and
do
that's
this,
the worst.
Yeah, if you don't do this right now, his fucking dude, his car got either stolen or towed. And I'm like, I don't see the car anywhere where it's usually parked. And he goes, can you call the police? Sure, I guess so. It's your car.
Right.
I'm just letting you know it's gone. So I call the cops. And I'm like, hey, this car is either stolen. I just need to check to see if it's either been stolen, if I need to report it stolen or it's already been towed. So they go, can I have what the make, model, and license plate numbers are? Sure, here's all that information. And they go, who are you? And I tell them my name, and I tell them whose name it's under. And they're like, well, we can't give you any information because you're not the guy, which I completely understand.
Yeah.
So I tell the guy, and the guy goes, okay. And then like 3 weeks later, the guy's lady is asking me where the fucking car is. And I'm like, I don't know.
Great question.
I'm not allowed to know. As per the cops.
Right.
They told me I can't know shit. He's supposed to do the legwork. And even you can't know shit. Because it's his fucking car. It's under his name. Jesus Christ. Do one fucking thing. That's all
Keep
I
it light.
ask.
Keep it light. Keep it light.
Do one thing. Just do one thing. So whatever. I've been frustrated, and I'm realizing that the career move that I made is just like every career move I've ever made.
Well, also, you still haven't even got to about your great weekend.
Oh yeah. So I'm supposed to do Looney's Comedy Corner in fucking Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I even have Jay. You don't know this, but we got fans out there. Did
What?
you know that? We.
Are you sure it's not just you?
No, it's listeners of said show
What?
who were like, oh, Cocaine's coming to Colorado Springs. He's going to drive an hour with his lady.
This one listener.
This one guy. I'm driving an hour.
What's his name? Let's
with
give him a
my
shout out.
That was a long.
Jeez.
I'm going to say.
Oh my God.
I'm going to say Alex.
It's not Alex.
It's not Alex. It's something. Anyway, so definitely Alex and his girl Alex were also going to come. Two Alexes coming together.
Yeah.
They were going to come out, and then I had to make a
Damn
thing
it.
because what happened had happened was
You canceled your weekend, your weeks in Boston.
yeah, I canceled my weeks in Boston, which is my favorite place in the whole wide world, like one of my 3 favorite
Yes.
cities, and I'm going to be with Jay, and we might have done some fun, cool shit.
Oh, definitely
'Cause every
would've.
time we go, we do fun, cool shit. And so I go, he tells me no work. So I clarified just to double check. Hey man, am I doing Colorado Springs with you? And he doesn't get back to me. And then that's a full 24 hours go by before I'm like, yeah, so am I opening for you in Colorado Springs? I just copied and pasted this part because you never fucking got back to me. And he just said, "Yep."
Okay.
And I'm like, all right.
So, all right. You're like, I mean, it doesn't really boost the confidence, but
certainly doesn't.
Says it is confirmed.
Yes.
Yep.
And the plane ticket has been bought.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. He bought the plane ticket. He was because I can't do these trips unless, like, I can't do these kind of like big outing trips unless we're doing things like we would do in Boston, where we're staying with people, and we know a lot more people in Boston than I would ever know in Colorado.
Right.
So I would have a place to crash and can save money that way while making money throughout the thing. This is like a one weekend thing, and it's gonna and it's last minute. So then I go, oh, it just hits me all of a sudden, like, oh, I need the itinerary for the hotel. Where's that?
Yeah.
Nothing. Again, nothing. So I sent.
I would have loved it if he just replied, "Yep."
Yep. And it's just like a booking confirmation of his room.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, hey, yo, I need this information. Still nothing. I text him 3 times about it. He never gets back to me one time until the next morning when I text him again. And that's the text message where he starts the text message. He starts that text by saying, I was just about to text you. Oh, were you? Were you just about to text me? Were you lifting your thumb to the unlock the keypad button to get to the text message icon on your fucking phone?
Keep it light.
So you can just pull up your buddy's name and say, oh, hey, I got to text him this information that he's been requesting for 2 days. Oh, man, what an ass am I? And then all of a sudden a bubble pops up, and it's from Kane, and it's the same question. And it's like, oh, gee whiz, I was just about to text him. Or did you get a fucking buzz in your pocket and you're realizing that you all of a sudden, you're like, ah, shit, I really do got to get back to him.
Keeping it light's my favorite thing.
So you just text back, oh, by the way, I was just about to text you, which is just a verbal middle finger to my intelligence. And so he's like, yeah, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, he doesn't know what's going on. I told the booker, but I don't know. Maybe the booker like forgot that you were part of the thing. They already booked a local guy. And they can't unbook that local guy. And here's my all-time favorite part. It's not even the fact that he, waited so long with knowing he knew. He waited this long to find out the information and then tell me. He backpedals by saying, I was just about to, and that I'm not on the show anymore. And I'm not getting paid for the 2 weeks. So it's been 2 weeks of no money. And so as far as this guy knows, as far as this guy is concerned, I'm destitute. He doesn't fucking have any clue. And so then, but my favorite part of this text message is, you can come if you want, but you have to get your own hotel. That's the full text message. What the fuck kind of logic is that, guy? What the fuck kind of logic is that?
And it doesn't even say you would be doing time.
I would just come to Colorado Springs and hang out with my bestest buddy in the whole wide world. Who the fuck do you think you are? Yeah, who the fuck do you think you are? I was so, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Dude, I felt so, I can tell you exactly. So I called Kane while I was in Boston, and Jack was behind me, probably 10 yards walking. I think he was on his phone, and I'm on the phone talking to you. And we were walking to the Cheers bar because Jack wanted to check it out. So we're walking there. And I was just like, okay, my role in this conversation is to just be a sponge and let Kane get it out. I'm like, and I think I even said that to you. I was like, get it out. Get it out. It's fucking, I didn't have you on speakerphone, but I think everybody could hear, you know.
I'm still mad about it.
I felt so bad too. I was like, I told Jack, and he was just like, "Oh man." I was like, "Yeah, dude. You would have got to see Scotty hang out. We went to the
Scotty.
Celtics game.
Dude, I love Scotty. I love
It was his
Ryan.
birthday. I went to his birthday party.
Exactly. I saw that shit.
Sarah,
I've never seen a Celtics game. Sarah, I talked about Sarah on Well Actually. I talked about how great she is, how she took me to Fenway Park, and how sweet she was, and how she just randomly falls into a Boston accent, even though she's from Portland, Oregon. And
the more she drinks,
all of a sudden she's just like, the trees in Portland are really nice, but if you fucking check out this fucking building over here, kid, dude, it's great. The traffic here is fucking nuts.
In her defense, she lives with Scotty. So
yeah, and Scotty's just,
what's up?
how you doing, man? Wait, you don't drink anymore? Ah, Jesus Christ.
Speaking of that, so I know we're bouncing all over on this podcast. So our third week in Boston, we did Nick's Comedy Stop. They interviewed Scotty for this documentary thing that's getting done, possibly about me, a pilot thing, docuseries. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, right now it's just filmed. It doesn't mean anything, but fingers crossed. But I asked Scotty. I was like, "Hey, come up." He told me I'm gonna come up to Nick's, and I was like, "Do time." And he goes, "No, I mean, I'll come in." I was like, "I'll talk to Cott." So Cott's like, "Yeah, of course." So Scotty does time, goes up, and at one point he's like, "I don't know if I like you guys," to the audience, and it's fucking, dude, it just Scotty fucking kills me.
Scotty's the best.
But when he got off, so when I went up, I think Scotty was the last comic before me, and the way they do it at Nick's is they have a host, does like 10 to 15. So Jack did, and usually only the host and the headliner get paid. So they usually do a host and like multiple guest spots that do like 10 to 15. Mm-hmm. So Jack was hosting, and Scotty was like the third or fourth guest spot. So I went up, and I go, I was like, keep it going for all the comics you saw, blah, blah, blah. I was like, Scotty, give Scotty a round of applause. Scotty's the first guy that ever gave me stage time ever. And I go, I'm going to tell you a story about Scotty that just sums up Scotty. I said, my best buddy Kane was coming out here. I opened my set with this. I even said, I don't know if this will be funny to you guys, but this just sums up. And for those listening, you may have heard the story before or not, but I said, my buddy Kane was coming out to Boston for a comedy fest. Didn't know anybody out there. I called Scotty and I just said, hey, my buddy Kane's coming out there. And all I said was, will you look out for him? Maybe, show him around. Whatever. Scotty opens his house to you.
Yes, he was a lovely.
Didn't know you.
No, he didn't. In fact,
you basically are meeting him as you're moving in for a week.
For a week. And I was... I also walked into the wrong part of that house.
Oh.
I went upstairs rather than around the corner and walked into someone's house. And as I'm looking around, I'm like looking for any semblance of a human being that might be.
That's got to be creepy.
And I was like, I feel like this is wrong.
Oh, God. Yeah, so the story is, but just as a preface, that gives you the idea of what kind of person Scotty is. He's the greatest dude. I don't think there's anybody that has ever said a bad word about Scotty. Mm-mm. He's the best. So Kane comes out to Boston, and this is back when Kane was drinking, and this is how I tell the story. I was like, my buddy Kane comes out to Boston. Scotty takes him out. They go drinking. And Kane orders, he goes, yeah, can I get a Jameson neat? And Scotty's response was, neat? What the fuck is neat? And Kane responded, well, like with no ice. Mm-hmm. And Scotty's response was, you mean a shot, you queer? And the whole audience loved it.
Ah, keep it.
Dude, yeah.
That's yours.
Well, it's your story. I just told it about Scotty because I wanted him. And and it was one of those deals where you're like, let's see if this works. But it did.
That's how pompous I am. Keep a really funny story.
That happened to me.
Go ahead, keep it. But that's how pompous I am, where I'm like, I just tell you what bits to keep.
Oh.
Why don't you shut up, Kane? Anyway, so yeah, that's the kind of environment I got to miss out on. And it's my favorite place to be, even when I'm not drinking. Scotty and Sarah and you, and when we went out with Alfred, I mean, it was all a blast. Like when we went and saw the Red Sox play the Devil Rays or the Rays or whatever they're called now. The seats were fucking beautiful.
How do we get those seats?
I don't know. You just I can't fit in the seats. And I'm sitting there with my big button. I still have them in my jacket. Dude. My big button, my first time button at the thing.
Little kid.
It's sitting in my jacket right now.
Oh,
and then Alfred yelled at the pitching manager that's out in the dugout. Or the pitching. It
was a perfect day too for the game.
Yeah, it was cold as fuck, but it was still sunny and beautiful. And he's just like the pitching dude in the back where all the fucking pitchers warm up. He's throwing balls to kids on their birthday, and I'm sitting there, a 30-year-old man. It's not even my birthday, and I'm just like, they're like, come on, and I'm all nervous, and Alfred's like, give my friend a ball. It's like the only thing that he's clinging to life for. And the guy just goes, Jesus, and throws it to him. So I got a ball, and like I keep all that stuff on me because I love it. Jay because he knew I was having a hard time. He got me this coin because he knew it was it's a beautiful minted Boston Red Sox.
It came out of it. Oh, nice.
And it's gonna chill in my pocket every day. It's fucking beautiful.
That's pretty dope.
And that's what I missed out on. Some fucking camaraderie.
Oh yeah.
And all that shit. And I gotta sit and try and get some lowly douchebag. He's a fucking douche. Like he's such a douche now. And before, he went from guy I know to friend to essentially almost business partners, because that's what we're like working towards. He wanted to start a whole new show.
Writing partner. We were going to start this whole new one-man thing that was, or it was like a two-man thing that might have gone on tour. And he didn't want to do any lick of work, and that made me fucking resent the position I was put in, which was bugging a guy who hired me. And I'm like, what the fuck? Ugh.
I got the feeling I'm going to get fired.
Yeah.
I just have it in my bones that he's firing me. So I'm like, I'm going to go job hunting. And
thank God you started doing the legwork.
I just was like, I'm going job hunting now because I want out, especially if this is how he's going to treat me. I want out. Fuck it. And I found something, and then I'm just still waiting for him. I'm still waiting for him. I'm like, you got to call me. You got to hit me up. But I'm so fucking mad. I am so mad at the Colorado Springs thing.
Rightfully so.
That he sends me a text message. Maybe I have it. Maybe I deleted it. I'm not sure. He sends me a text message that is, I've never seen somebody pass the buck quicker. He tries to apologize. Okay, hey, let's try and talk this week. Before that. So he tells me that I don't know what happened, but you're not booked. You can still come out and hang out if you want, but you got to get your own. And I'm like, you're not paying me, and you expect me to come out for free and spend money? Go fuck yourself. And so I'm like, okay, whatever. So I'm so pissed. He blames it on the booker, and he tells me the booker's name. I know that guy.
Yeah.
So I call that guy, and I'm like, hey, guy, did this dude tell you that he wanted me to open for him, and then you decided no? Did that at all happen? Because if it did, then that's fine. Then that means that you and I have something to work out on. But that wasn't the case. He had just heard from him about booking me when I texted him. So he didn't do anything.
Oh, buddy.
And I canceled that a month in advance.
Yes.
Because he told me a fucking month in advance. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I knew that. I knew that before I even called him. But whatever. I just needed confirmation. So he puts it on. Hey, let's try to talk this week. I want to break some stuff down to you. Also, I'm sorry about the Colorado thing. It sucks. I thought that the booker was aware all this time that you were opening. Not sure where the ball was dropped, but I do apologize. You're not sure where the ball was dropped? Dude, you weren't even in the ball section of the store. You were looking at roller skates and knee pads. You fucking weren't looking at balls. There was no ball to drop, shitface. So I'm irate from that text, and I don't respond, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't respond to me. Why the fuck?
Plus, you probably want to take a minute before you respond.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll wait until we talk on the phone, and we have things to talk about because there's still, like, things that need to be done job-wise. Even if I do leave, even if I am fired or I quit, there still needs to be a process
Hand
of like,
off and all that
here's
shit,
all this stuff so I can go. And I don't respond. So he does the weekend, whatever. Monday rolls around, and I text him, we gotta talk. Are you gonna call me? No response the entire goddamn day. Again. I'm like, hey, I just write yo. That's the only part of the time. Yo.
Yeah.
And he texts back, yeah, I wanted to I shot you a text like 5 days ago about talking, and I was breaking stuff down, but you didn't text or call me back.
Let me preemptively tell you, keep it light, because I feel a scream coming on.
You didn't text or call me back. I'll call you tomorrow. I did reach out to you like 5 days ago to talk about all this and hadn't heard a word until today. So I assumed you weren't interested anymore. I'm sure you can see how that would be confusing, but I'll hit you up tomorrow. How what would be confusing? How what would be confusing? I don't text you back, so you jump all the way to I quit without verbal confirmation? Without verbal confirmation? You just assume...
You're not keeping it light?
I feel like Chris Penn in Reservoir Dogs when he sees Mr. Blonde has been shot to death and Mr. Orange's story just doesn't add up, and he's just like, he's just gonna decide out of the fucking blue to rip us off? Why don't you tell me what really happened? That's what I feel like right now. He's Mr. Orange and I'm fucking nice guy Eddie, and I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I'm like, and we're already texting. We're in the midst, we're in the throes of texting. Why can't we talk now? I respond. Let's talk right now. Call me. Right now.
Right.
He doesn't respond to it. So the next day, I have to go, when are you calling? I give him a deadline. When are you fucking calling me today so we can talk, you piece of shit? And he doesn't respond to that. And then, afternoon, he finally gets back to me and says, 4. Okay, fine.
All right,
4.
we got 4 on the books.
We can talk on the phone. Because if you're going to fire me, at least show me that a modicum of respect to call a person that you consider a friend. And this guy, at 3:30, my phone, my pocket, and it's that. You're getting a text message buzz.
Oh, that was your vibrator.
Yeah. My vibrator goes off out of my ass, and I confuse it with a text message. So the text message comes in. I know it's a text message, and I just know
You get that gut feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not calling me, and he's going to do it over text message because he's a fucking coward. That's cowardly behavior. I don't care what kind of story you have to tell yourself that you were like, oh, I overcame this and overcame that. If you're frightened of me, you can't have a confrontation with me, of all people. There are far more intimidating guys out there, women even. There's all kinds of people far more intimidating than me, and you can't hear why I'm mad. You are a fucking coward. I don't give a shit what you have to say. That's cowardly behavior. That's weak. It's a weak person. Fuck you. And so he texts me. He fires me through text message. I couldn't believe it. And it's all this. And the thing is, he goes, I think, we don't have to have a phone call and have to justify our sides to each other. And then this motherfucker justifies his side. So he just goes, oh, I don't want to hear what I did wrong.
Yeah.
Here's all the things that you did wrong. You submitted his whole thing. You submitted hours when I didn't have any work for you to do. How the fuck do you expect me to live? I had to make things up to do around your house. Like, get your shit done.
I'm afraid
put
to
things
say
in
keep
storage.
It light because you're intimidating.
It would be funny if you texted me that.
Yeah, keep it light. I don't really want to, I don't want to go over our sides.
I send you all kinds of stuff. You never respond to any of it. So how the fuck would you know what I do or don't do? You don't respond to any of the emails. I set up YouTube channels for you. I pitched you podcast ideas, one of which you're in the middle of fucking doing. That was my idea. And look, I don't want to be the my idea guy, but that's my fucking idea, okay? And so you're going to take my idea and do it on your own? Fine. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I don't need to be tethered to you anyway. However, Don't fucking tell me that I was being lazy. Don't fucking try and accuse me that I'm just pushing in hours when you don't. I'm not hands-on. That was another thing. I'm not a hands-on. It's like, yeah, that's exactly my point, stupid. How the fuck am I supposed to pay my bills when you don't respond to anything that I send you? You don't have a leg to stand on. And I wasn't hiding my hours. I went to your business manager and I hit you up when I didn't get my checks and stuff. I wasn't hiding shit. You can see, if you were a normal person who runs a business and you want it to be successful, check on your employees. Don't fucking blame me.
Get it out.
All right? Don't blame me for shit. I don't want to hear that. And whatever, fine. If you genuinely think that, why don't you call me? I'm willing to hear the faults that I have. That's why I wanted to talk on the phone. I'm not afraid of hearing what my faults are. I've been getting it for 32 years. You think I give a fuck?
We don't have that long of a podcast.
So that's why he's worthless, because, and if you're out there and you do that shit, somebody says, you gotta call me, and you want to, and it's all about maintaining that relationship. And I said that to him, because one of the things at the end was, I think this is a friendship that, that I truly meant a lot to me, and I think that I've now, that because of this, we have to dissolve our working relationship, because I've now lost you as a friend, and I respond, then call me and we can rectify it.
Yeah.
No harm, no foul. I gave it to him. Call me and we can work it out.
Yeah.
And then we don't have to work together.
And he was just like, nah.
Yeah, we don't have to work together. It's perfectly fine. But if you want to maintain a friendship, call me, because it's the one thing I want from you. It's the only thing I want is for you to call me.
And it's not even call me. You weren't saying call me to tell me that you were wrong. You're like, just call me.
Yeah, that's it.
I get you.
At this point, I don't care about my side. Just fucking call me so I can go, Jesus Christ, finally.
Yeah.
And we can then go, all right, let's just, from here on out, let's move out as friends. And he didn't do that either.
Well.
So I'm like, okay, fine. Now I feel comfortable going, hey, guy, go fuck yourself. Yeah. How you like them apples?
Are you good?
I'm sure there's a bunch of people out there like, I think I know who it is.
They're also probably, if it's a first-time listener, we're like, this is a really intense podcast. Is it just an hour of a guy bitching?
I'm really sorry, guys.
No, we got it on record. You get it out of your system. Mm-hmm. I put that as one of the topics.
Yeah,
you know.
Good.
So let me tell you how dope Boston was. No, because I think I talked a little bit about it last week, but just a quick recap. Woo ha ha. So we didn't do Worcester's club because it wasn't open yet. So Woo ha ha club is fucking dope. The people of Worcester are like, they're hungry for comedy. So 3 shows all sold out. I think it was seating like 100 and something, but they moved it down to like now it's max, I think 90. But so 90 people in this low ceiling, and it's fucking, the room is just fucking hot. Brian Glowacki, did you meet Brian before?
I don't know.
So Brian Glowacki, he's their house MC, good dude, buddy of mine, and he's there every week, and so he opens up the show fucking ripping it. I mean, just no like, hey, coming to the stage, put your hands together, your house MC or your host, Brian, just cold, walks on, rips. So he rips, Jack goes up, he rips, and then I went up and did my thing, and first show, standing ovation.
Damn.
And I got the tail end of it on video, and you hear Brian go, is this our first standing ovation here at the Woo? And which was pretty dope.
That is cool.
And next, and here you'll appreciate this. And also you remember Cott, Ryan Cott?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
the security.
Yeah, exactly. So Ryan Cott's he manages all the clubs and part owner, and so Cott, here, I'll tell you the Cott part after this. So that first show, one show Friday, standing ovation. Brian's doing his first show of the Rowdy Show, he calls it, after my show, right? The late show. So I was like, oh, is it like dirty show? He's like, it's whatever you want. And I was like, oh, cool. Can I just do like 5 minutes? He goes, sure. Half of the audience probably stayed from the first show. People got my shirts and everything. So I'm like, oh, I'll just do all dirty stuff that I didn't do in the hour, right? I went up and they fucking, I give it like going from a standing ovation to then that set was probably a 5. And I literally in the middle of this 5-minute set, I go, so glad I stuck around for this. But I mean, that's so comedy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you're, don't get fucking comfortable. So the next day, Ryan, he mentions the standing ovation. He's like, yeah, so a fucking standing ovation, huh? He's like, Jesus Christ. He's like, how long are we going to wait till you fucking threw that in my face? You know, because Ryan's a big... dude, I told Ryan this, and I truly believe it. He's probably one of the funniest people I know in comedy that has no desire to do stand-up, doesn't do stand-up. He's just a shit talker, funny as fuck.
Doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, and so he was like... How long are you going to fucking wait to throw that? He's like, Jesus, I got that text, and I was like, oh, fuck, great. I'm never going to hear the end of this. And then I told him the story of the show afterwards, and he was like, I am so happy. He goes, that makes it all worth it. Caught, we went to the Celtics game. Jack obviously is there, and then Hillary from Broken Drift Productions, part of the Big Pine Comedy Festival, she was in town, and Caught. So all 4 of us go to the game, right? So Cott's heard about the system, my system. So I don't know if should I say it or just explain kind of what it is?
I can never remember the numbers, but I've tried to explain your system. It doesn't work for me.
So basically, I won't tell the system, but I'll just say what happens. I buy the cheapest ticket I can at any sporting event, and then there's a system I do that I get my seat upgraded to fucking great seats. Yeah. I did it at the NBA Finals in 2008 when the Celtics beat the Lakers. I was at the final game, did it there. World Series that I just went to, the Red Sox Dodgers, did it again. I was sitting right behind press row. And so Cott has heard about this. He's heard about it from Scotty Lombardo, Michael O'Brien, you know Michael Obi.
Yeah. Everybody spreads the word.
Everybody's heard of it.
Go to a game with Jay. You don't need any more information than that. Just go to a game with Jay.
Did it at a UFC fight. Did it at the heavyweight boxing championship, Deontay Wilder. So we go to this, and we get our cheap tickets, and Cott's like, all right, let me fucking see this. So I start the process of our system, or my system, and I'm told that we're too late.
Oh, no.
And so I'm like, oh, no. But I also, the lady... As soon as I was walking in, I saw the lady that I was going to talk to. I was like, this isn't going to go good. I could read her. I was like, this isn't going to go good. So we start going up to our nosebleed seats, and I see, I forget what they were called, but like it was like the people that are like customer experience people.
Customer service?
Yeah, but it was, I don't know. The customer, they weren't the concierge because they were the ones that we first talked to, but something like customer service people, and like they're in ties and stuff. So we go to our seats, and I go, I'll be right back. I walk back down. I start my system. I try my system on them. They tell me we can take 3 of your 4. And so I text them, and Jack and Hillary stayed at the nosebleeds because they were fine with that. And Cott comes down. He was like, you were going to fucking hear it if this didn't work. He's like, was texting with Obi saying it didn't fucking work. And I go, well, you better fucking update him because it did. So we got the fucking dope seats, and he was like, this is fucking great. Nice. And watched the Celtics game. Celtics won. That was great. It was just, it was, fuck, dude. Oh, this is one thing I texted you that I wanted to talk about. Dude, that first weekend, so we did the Woo Ha Ha in Worcester, 3 sold-out shows, hot audiences, and then Sunday we did a brunch at Laugh Boston, a brunch show, which you're like, oh, God, this is going to be shit. Ended up being awesome. Yeah. Kelly McFarland's hosting. Do you know Kelly? Mm-mm. I think she's been doing it like 20 years. She's like kind of like a little Boston legend now, and she looks like the sweet lady, you know, that at the PTA, but just fucking filthy? Sharp as a tack. And she's not necessarily filthy, but she's fucking shit talking. I mean, she's smart ass, funny, and she's hosting it, and just literally every person she's interacting with and just getting them going. And I'm talking to Kelly, and I was like, after that weekend, I was like, fuck, I love Boston. I was like, God, I want to move back. And she's like in my ear going, come back. She's like, you make a great living on the East Coast. And she's telling me about different comics and what you can do. And I'm like, and then I'm thinking, okay, you know, I have all the connections on the West Coast, Arizona, Vegas, and then I could add the East Coast, and fuck, maybe I could fill up my calendar. She's just like, come back. And then I've talked to Dan Bolger before, Dan Bolger is the youngest person to ever win the Boston Comedy Festival. Hilarious. Actually, he let me stay at his place the first night I got in, and I talked to Dan. I was like, do you have any aspirations to moving to LA or New York? And he had lived in New York before, but he's like, no. He goes, I enjoy doing comedy, and I'm happy doing stand-up. Then I talked to Will Noonan. You remember Will Noonan from Capos? I'm talking to Will. And he's like, you know, I'm Buddhist now, and he's like, this is the happiest I've been. I get like some acting stuff here, and he's like, and I'm like, fuck. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck do I want? Like, it's like the vibe I'm getting from them is they are enjoying doing stand-up.
Yeah, I was at Dave Neal's brunch show.
Yes.
In Hollywood.
St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day. Everyone's drinking green mimosas, and I went up and did all of my I'm sober material, which went over great, and standing ovation. And and I was talking out with another comic. I'm not sure if he wants me to say his name for this kind of thing, but you know him, and he was on the show, and he was like, I'm like, hey, how's the road treating you? Because he's been on the road a lot more now, and he's like, I love it. And then all that talk I had before, where it's like, yeah, LA sucks, but you know, this is where things are happening. And he's usually the guy that's like, no, LA doesn't care about you. Move somewhere else. And he's sitting there going like, I'm tired of not feeling like a comic, which is what LA does to you. And I haven't heard him say that yet. I've been here for years, and every time I talk to him, he's like, LA doesn't care. You got to grind it out. And it's the first time I ever heard him actually go, yeah, I'm tired of it.
Yeah, and dude, and then I just was thinking about, I mean, part of it too is like, I was thinking like, you don't have to be in LA to get discovered anymore. Like Ryan, I think his name's Ryan Davis. I don't think he's from LA, but he like Instagram person. I look at what Kev's done. Kev, dude, he talked about on his other podcast about he got turned down for representation, and then like a week later he's got his own show called Kev on Everything, where he's like doing like he goes in and he does like fixes cars, and then the next thing maybe he's going to be like training to be an MMA fighter, you know, Kev on Everything.
I talked about those guys, I think it was either on Dave's Sex Actually podcast, or I think maybe my other podcast, but I talked about Tahir and Tony and Kev, and now what you're doing, following their lead and all that stuff, and how like it takes a certain level of dedication for that to be able to work for you, and I don't have that, so I couldn't follow in those kind of footsteps.
Okay, go on.
But however, the new gold standard in my mind is Tahir and Tony and Kev, and also Dan Cummins.
Yeah.
That motherfucker's Time Suck podcast is not only fantastic, but it enabled him to go, I don't have to live in Los Angeles.
Dude, Shane Moss, I think I heard he lives in Oregon.
Yeah.
Dude, and the other thing, okay, I want to back up for a second. When you say you don't have that in you, why?
I just look at the amount of, I look at the amount of work, and I've also tried before to think of things, and I just fall completely flat on that. I don't know why I can't think of anything to do in the same vein as what Tahir and you, and also keeping up with that thing. Like, it just seems like such a daunting, exhausting task, and I already have a very wavering relationship with social media as it is.
I know that, and I would say use it how, like, you know, like a lot of comics would use Twitter for like premises. You know, Kurt Metzger would talk about that. He would post all these jokes / premises on Facebook, and he would tell you 99% of them are shit.
Right.
And he's like, but this is free, so fuck you, right? So like the thing I did today was about how do you do a handshake when you leave. So I don't know if this would ever become a joke, an actual joke, but I was sitting there getting my hair cut, and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, I know all these guys except for that guy across, and I'm like, so when I say goodbye, because I'm asking these guys if they want to come to a show, but I'm not like, I'm talking to all of them, but I haven't said anything to this guy, and I'm like, well, I don't really fucking know him, so do I do it out of, or is it weird? And then when I leave, and so immediately I was like, oh, fuck. So you could do it as like premises almost, you know, like, really, I look at like the video I posted today, it really maybe has, I talk for a minute and a half, and there's maybe one thing in the whole thing that's funny, right? It's not like jokes and jokes and jokes, but like the responses from everybody, you know, you could also even mine it that way too,
right.
But you definitely could do it, because also here's another way to think of it. Imagine if that was an assignment said you needed to do for his thing.
Who?
Oh, this other guy. You know, fuck. Should I mute that out? Oh, fucking god damn it.
You know what you just did is you created work for yourself.
I did.
You got to download a bleep.
All right, that's fine. I got it.
All
right. Well, okay, so imagine somebody was giving you as an assignment, right?
Who?
And you could do it though, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so here fucking, and Kev, I'm watching Kev. Why not work so hard for yourself that you would for someone else? Oh fuck!
Man,
what?
I mean, geez. I mean, gosh. I just don't know if I can ever trust myself in that way.
Shut up. No, but you know what I mean.
I do. Yeah, I know what you mean. I do limit myself.
I mean, on your Well Actually thing, you post
I love
clips.
doing those.
Okay,
those I love doing.
You like doing. You do clips. So it's not a matter of you don't know how to do it. You can do it.
Right, I can do it.
Right. Okay. So you have the knowledge to do it.
Yes.
You just don't have the desire to do it.
Here's what I think it is. I think it's attaching. I think it's attaching solely myself to that thing. Because with Well Actually, or like clips that you post on this thing, and I'm about to start working on other things for HollingsWorthless, where it's like when we insert puns or when we yell at each other or whatever, or word of the day, that kind of taking those clips and making those. I like doing those, but I'm bouncing off of you. I'm bouncing off of Tommy and Holly and guests whenever we have guests and stuff. And so to just attach myself solely to, all right, here is half my face, and here's the thing I'm talking about. Okay, is this as funny as I thought it was when I started doing this thing? Here you go, everybody. And then just to have, I just feel for some reason like I'm not, my brain's not working in that way. And so I guess then I put limitations on myself. And I just had a whole conversation about not telling people, don't put any limitations on yourself. And I just did it. Well, so that's, I think, essentially the problem.
Here's I know what my thing was at first is I was like, I'm old school when it comes to stand-up. You know, I'm gonna make it on the merit of my stand-up, and fuck all these social media comics and blah blah blah. But Kev, Tahir, and Tony, they're good comics.
Yeah, they're awesome.
They're great stand-up comedians. They just have this other thing in their tool pouch. Like Tony found his thing with those animal voiceovers, and dude.
And you see all kind of other comics now, because I follow a few comics, and I didn't know that was a thing. But they're like, shit.
Yeah,
I should have done that, and then they just do it anyway. But they won't be animals. It'll be like, here's what a baby's thinking.
I send Tony clips, like if I see it, because I look at it almost like that's his thing.
Yeah,
he's got the corner on that. So I would never do an animal voiceover thing, but I'll see some and I'll be like, oh shit. And so I'll send it to Tony. I don't even say anything. I just send him the link to the clip. Sometimes he'll respond back, be like, oh, I already did this one, or thanks. And sometimes he just won't respond, but I don't expect him to. I'm just sending him shit, to do if he wants. But that's like he found his thing. I mean, he posts other shit too that's funny and stuff, but that's like his thing. And Kev has his thing. Like today, he did a thing about the water you used to get out of the hose on the side of the house, right?
Yeah.
He was like, nothing was better than that. I don't care, bottled water, that was the best. And he does a lot of church-related stuff, and that's his thing. And so I think it's just finding your thing, and in the meantime, just keep every day. You should do. Why don't you commit Commit to me.
All right, I'll commit
one
to
day,
you.
whatever
One
it
day.
is.
Yeah.
And you can do your own spin on it or whatever. Because like I said, for the longest I was like, I'm a comic. I don't. That's that other shit. That's not my thing. And just like times, you got to change. You got to adjust. So I'm like, I look at it like, okay. Again, I'm using the martial arts analogy because in Wing Chun Do we used to say you have your tool pouch, having a tool pouch mentality in Wing Chun Do is like, let's say there's 1,000 techniques in this martial art you study, right? Mm-hmm. But you only put in your tool pouch what you're going to really use. So like as a carpenter, if a carpenter's going to build a house, he puts his main tools in his tool pouch. He doesn't put a 2x4 in his tool pouch.
Right.
He puts he's got the tape measure and this and that. So I look at it like stand-up or comedy has all these different things that you can put in your tool pouch. You have comedic acting, you have improv. And so I look at it like this is just another thing I got to put in my tool pouch, the social media game. Mm-hmm. I mean, fuck, Trevor Wallace did a video about earpods, and I think he's gained like 60,000 followers. The thing went viral.
Yeah.
And I mean, mine's obviously on a lower scale, but since January, I've added 1,000 followers.
Yeah. I've watched your following grow, and your also like your videos every day, and it's people look forward to the Worthless of the Week.
So did you see I retweeted that one girl?
No, I didn't.
A girl sent me, she's like, here's a Worthless of the Week. And I'm like, this is all I've ever wanted, is other people to start sending their Worthless of the Week.
Yeah.
It was like her math, it was a math thing and related to school. And so I retweeted it out. So I want people to like fucking send me she sent me a picture and everything. And I was like, oh, this is great.
That's what we always preach it on the show, but we definitely want to hear from you guys about your Worthless of the Week.
And you've done one, and
I for some reason my phone stinks about sending video and then connecting it to the drive and all this shit. I had one ready last week that I was trying to send to you, and it just wouldn't send. So I just said fuck it, because I was in the middle of going
fucking
broke.
Getting fired.
Yeah, and.
All right, so
mine was essentially what I just ranted about. But I had a whole funny thing about it, and I even referenced your standing ovation. Like in the video, I'm like, yeah, I hear. I was in my car. Yeah, I hear Jay's got a standing ovation. That's great. Boo. Anyway, my Worthless of the Week is
that whole audience.
Everybody who fucking liked his shit. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed doing that, especially when I have them. I get fired
Dude,
up.
it's fun because you get to vent. And did you see my one about the United States Postal Service? Those fucking idiots.
Well, I have a hard time watching. I saw the Postal Service thing, and I just have to say my mom's a postal person, and so you're kind of, you can't say postal person.
Hope she wasn't
postal persa.
Postal purser.
Yeah, postal bitch.
Oh, Jesus.
Deliver my mail, you redheaded motherfucker.
Dude, I don't even want to get into it. I already made my post on that. But all right, so you're committing. You're going to do a video a day.
I'll do one a day.
Whatever it is. And, dude, it's just, and, dude, the other thing, too, is, like, you never know what's going to fucking... Did you see the thing that blew up for Kev? The potato chips thing?
No. What happened?
Okay, this is fucking crazy. Kev's on tour. I don't know what city they're in. The comedians of social media. Mm-hmm. Him, Tony Baker, Tahir Moore, Doughboy's there. And I think Josh Egons was there, Aaron, the tour manager. So they're just in the green room of this church or in the back room of this church. And, like sometimes they'll cater it and stuff. So somebody bought a pack of like the multiple chips, the little bags of chips, right? Mm-hmm. So I guess Jason Fredericks, Kevin's brother, grabbed the Fritos first, Frito-Lays. And they were like, Fritos, why would you? And so then they start arguing. This is the Doritos are first, Cheetos second, Doritos Cool Ranch, barbecue, regular Lays, then Fritos last. Then the next person was like, nah, man, fuck that. You go with this. So they all argued it. Kev puts up the video. What's the correct order? That goes viral, like millions of people. Then it gets picked up by the Shade Room, gets picked up by World Star. And then... it's on fucking Good Morning America.
What the fuck?
And they're all debating, what's the chips? So Kev did a video, he goes, chips? He's like, all the content I've put out, all the great videos I've made, all the funny, and what gets on there is chips. He's like, chips. So that's the thing, is like you never know what could blow up.
What's so funny about that is he goes above and beyond
Yes.
to that thing. I watched him. He did a video commenting on the Liam Neeson thing.
Oh, the walking?
And the walking and
dude.
how like out of shape he
And
is.
his turn when
Yeah,
he-
and he's just like, I gotta walk this out. So I gotta walk out my racism. And his wife, who is like the best part of that video.
Oh, dude.
Because she is chilling on the
Working on the computer.
just doing her own thing. And then he's just like, gee, man. Oh, yeah, shit. She's just like, yeah, you need to settle down.
He's like winded.
I loved it. It was
Dude.
one of my favorite videos he'd ever posted. And yeah, and then I would agree. Chips?
Dude,
This guy busts his ass.
that's the thing, is like you never know what's gonna blow up. The other thing I'm starting to get my mind around with the social media game of it is, I may use it as like, we don't do topical shit in our stand-up,
No.
but you could do it on your social media
Yeah.
because you just need the thing for the day. So like that was a perfect example. Liam Neeson was hot because I had an idea for a joke that as soon as I thought of it, I was like, it's already fucking old.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing about, she said he's like, do you know who raped you, to the lady? And she was like, no. And he goes, do you know what color he was? And she goes, black. And he immediately should have been like, you mean Dave? It's in Ireland. How many fucking black people are there?
Right.
But I was like, by the time I thought of it, I was like, it's been like a week and a half. There's already new shit. And even if I did it for maybe a week, then I'll be done.
That's the
But if I did it as like a daily thing, it's perfect.
Yeah, that's the thing about big stuff like that, because it's what's interesting about the Liam Neeson thing is that it feels old because it stopped right there.
Yeah.
Like it just sort of stopped, and whatever needed to be said about the situation had been said. Both sides who were either against him or defending him,
Right.
both were true. One side was trying to say that's racist, and the other side was trying to say that's not racist, and then that's it. It's the end of it.
Yeah.
And maybe if the guy has another movie come out next year, it'll come back up again, and he has to answer for it, like the Kevin Hart thing, where he's just perpetually being asked the same question over and over again. However, that thing's it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's dead now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's hard to put it in your act, because
Yeah.
you're like, this doesn't feel relevant.
But I could do
it's
a
like trying to
minute-
do Bush Cheney material now. It's like it doesn't make any sense.
But you could do a minute on it on
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a solid point.
So look at your topical shit. And,
all right.
Yeah. All right. What else do we got? What are we out of time?
Oh, well,
Damn, where are
there's
we at?
all kinds
52.
of stuff. We got Leaving Neverland.
Did you? And you said you saw it?
Oh, I watched it. All right.
Whew, man, that was tough.
I mean, we all just knew it.
Yeah.
And even the people out there who are still, it's like, how do you watch that
With
How
an
do you-
erection.
How do you?
Why would you say that, Kane?
How did you? How do
I'm
you?
blacking that part of the video.
Yeah,
out.
as you should.
Yeah.
It's just more bleeps every time. So
I adjust the video so this is just a giant boner.
you just hear it, just me go, oh, so Leaving Neverland. And that's the show, everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, how did people who are out there still defending Michael Jackson? It's like, how do you not look at these guys, see the emotion in their
Dude.
face? They're not in it for money. And I mean, at one point, the dancer guy, he was suing the estate. But it's like, yeah, that's the least he could get. For
The other dude, though,
years
is
of
like
trauma.
Yeah.
And I could see where like a diehard fan would go, this guy defends him. A jury of his peers say, no, he's not. He didn't do anything. And here's a kid that Michael mentored who's now an adult and is saying no. And then this kid all of a sudden turns tail and decides to sue the estate after his death. And it's like, but you can. Now, where he's just getting the word out. That's all that is. It has nothing to do with money. How do you now say to yourself, "Oh no, he's innocent"? How do you listen to Man in the Mirror, Human Nature, or any of those songs where it's like love songs about another
Your
woman?
butt is mine.
Yeah, your butt is mine.
That's the opening line.
No, it's the girl is mine.
No, your butt is mine.
Oh, I thought you were referencing the Paul McCartney
No.
duet he did. Oh yeah, you're right.
Beat It. Come on. Which that was like one of his big deals was fucking. What? Dude, these are like hacky jokes that everybody's talking about, but that's, I mean, fuck.
Man, this guy was dangerous.
God. Dude, that was bad. Oh, fucking boo. Jesus Christ.
I mean, we are the world, Jay. That doesn't make
What?
any sense. It's the only song that popped into my head. But yeah, dude, that was a rough watch.
ABC, 1, 2, 3. So stupid.
It's just like like I called my niece just got into listening to Michael Jackson and then this came out and I called my sister and I was like, hey, I'm not gonna tell you how to parent, but just don't. I wouldn't let the kid listen to any more Michael Jackson. I wouldn't feel right because I look at my adulthood and I look back at you look back at your childhood and you go, hey man, what the fuck? Like, why'd you let that happen? And I don't want that to be a situation where she grows up, hears the truth, sees that video, and go, hey, why did we listen to him for like 15 more years? Because you wanted to. I was 6.
Dude.
Just tell me no.
Dude, when I was on the plane back from Boston, it was a 6-hour flight. And I don't know if you saw, I posted like these songs that I liked and what they meant and, stories behind them. As I'm going through my different songs, I'm scrolling through. I see R. Kelly, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to delete these.
Yeah.
And then I'd hear the old school Michael Jackson. Then I'm like, wait, when he was a kid, can I keep those songs? Or do I delete them all? Do I only keep, like, people that are doing remixes of it? Dude, it's weird. It's a weird thing,
I was at a fucking taco joint, and I'm standing in line, and ABC comes on. And you can see everybody in the taco joint was like,
yeah.
Somebody want to hit next?
Dude.
You could just feel everybody go, all right, let's try to pretend like it's not on.
Yeah, man. It's like R. Kelly, it seems almost like that's easier for me to be like, fuck this guy, I can delete that. For some reason, which I don't know which is a worse or if they're both equally bad. But I mean, my first thought would be Michael's would be worse.
Michael's is definitely worse.
But then I'm like, but for some reason, it's almost like it's harder.
I don't remember who was trying to justify. I was talking with somebody, and they were trying to justify the still listening to the older music by saying like, well, he wasn't. He
wasn't a pedophile then.
No, he said that he wasn't a predator. Like even in the time when he was, they were trying to say like he's sick. Obviously, there's something wrong in his head. They were trying to justify. Michael. They're trying to justify why the music isn't tainted, and I'm like, we're in the middle of talking about it.
Yeah,
like it's tainted. Like you can try and to say like he's not a predator. What a predator does, and you can see it, is try to isolate someone weak to manipulate them.
These kids were brainwashed.
Yeah, of course they were brainwashed, and of course people are gonna try who probably have never been abused as a child are gonna sit there and go, well, why wouldn't you just say something? It's like, do you remember being a kid when adults look like mountains?
Oh yeah.
Why would you stand up to that? You're terrified. And then that one person who you idolize says you can't trust your own parents.
Yeah, dude.
What the fuck are you gonna think?
Oh, and those parents. Oh.
Yeah, and then you look at those parents and you're like, Jesus Christ. I mean, starved. I mean, I know he's the king of pop, but you're looking at everybody and everybody's saying, everybody in that documentary is like, I don't give a fuck who he is. You're not gonna let him sleep. Dave Chappelle did it. Remember that sketch when in the Chappelle show where it's like, he couldn't have done it. He made Thriller. And they're like, well, Mr. Chappelle, would you let your children sleep in his bed? Fuck no.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, fuck, man. Yeah, it's that was a tough watch, man.
I couldn't get through I got through part 1 and then Kels was like, all right, you want to watch? And I'm like, I need a break. I can't keep listening to this shit. Let's take a day off.
Yeah.
And then come back, I guess. Oh. But it's like, how do you not listen to all of that to get, because especially growing up in the 90s, which is where I grew up, it's like, that was the guy. And everybody who got famous after him, use him as a reference. He fucking even Jay-Z references him. Who's the greatest Michael? Jordan, Jackson.
Yeah.
He's fucking so it's like, well, let's learn about who he really was. It's insane.
It's bad.
Yeah. It's what?
Oh God. I didn't even mean that. Ugh.
We talked about content. Boston Guys is on here.
Oh, I talked about that. Just that's the thing about them being just enjoying stand up, and the idea of just fucking. Oh man, I seriously was like, oh, how could I do this if I wanted to move back? And like what's my goal? Like, is it? I mean, I think about when we first start. Your goals. You look at people that are like headlining or touring, even if they're just doing B rooms. You're like, wait, you just make money doing stand up?
Yeah.
And you were like, if I could do that one day, and then you get there, and then you're like, all right, now what else do I want? I mean, right. I think it's also that thing of never being happy. Everybody always wants more,
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't know, dude. It's like Kelly. Before I came in here, Kelly sent me a text. In Boston, they're looking for dudes 6'4" to 6'6", to play thugs or whatever. I'm going to submit for it.
That's
and
great.
if I have to fly out there and do it, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think the goal inevitably is to move for anybody who's trying to make it here. I also think like the superstardom, like that's the stars making stars. I think that's a dying thing unless you're part of, because everything is becoming owned by a company. Like Disney owns everything. They own Star Wars, they own Marvel, and they own fucking stories. They're like they just finished their merger with Fox. I mean, they're eventually it's gonna be called Disney plus Earth. Like that's what the whole place is gonna be called, because we're run by corporations in general. One of the fucking richest guys on the planet Earth is president, and so you're like, I mean, it's all about money, and so and YouTube, Instagram, creating instant stars. So this idea of being in Los Angeles and becoming the next George Clooney, Brad Pitt, DiCaprio, all these people, being Amy Schumer. It's like at this point, why would we want that? There's no reason to have it, because as soon as you get it, people are going to want to try and take it away from you.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing I was telling Kev. I think he had a meeting with I won't say the agency. I think it was a pretty big agency. Mm-hmm. And I was like, they're going to want a percentage. And he's like, of like your tour and stuff. He's like, I'm not going to do that. What up, Kelsey?
Kelsey
just walked in. Yeah, I heard you're under the weather.
Oh.
Don't get me fucking sick. Get the fuck out of my house. Yeah, exactly. Get away from me. Oh, God. Look at my shoes. Match your shirt. Oh, God. I knew that was coming.
Shoes.
Adidas.
Yummy.
It's Adidas. We're almost done. You're on camera, by the way. There you go. Yeah, but it's. I told him, I was like, you meeting with these, they're going to want a percentage of your tour money. He's like, they aren't getting that. I was like, I know. What else we have? I know we had a best of the best you wanted to do.
I don't know if we have enough time for it, because we got to get to your Worthless. But I had an idea. I did it on the Patreon of my Well Actually show. What do you think would try and cast superheroes in? I did it for this, and it doesn't have to be specifically Quentin Tarantino, but I tried to cast superheroes in Quentin Tarantino movies, and I put the Justice League in for the Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
And I had like this whole story, so I put it to you and the listener, and maybe we do this next week. But what do you think would be a good movie that has nothing to do with superheroes, and then you try and throw, and it could be any superheroes, any team, or just a guy,
and throw them into a movie,
and throw them into.
But this isn't a best of the best thing.
Yeah, what would be the best version of that?
Oh.
What do you think you'd like to watch? Like if you
That's
took
a lot of layers to that.
Right, exactly. I had like so much fun doing it. It was fucking great.
Let's do it for next week.
Yeah,
but don't let me forget.
I won't.
Because we got that's like yeah.
You can, and I feel like you could do it really well with Scorsese movies.
Oh yeah.
Like you could do Goodfellas, and you can
Departed.
And yeah, or The Departed, and you just make like you make like Nicholson's character he's like Kingpin. So then fucking DiCaprio's character is Matt Murdock. He's the Daredevil.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what I mean? Like you just kind of put him in there, and then you try to make the story work in The Departed, but with those characters.
All right,
what's
I got
the
you.
best version of that?
All right. And then what's your worthless?
Oh, I said my worthless.
That's that's right. You were worthless of the.
That's my tip top. Text people back. Apologize if it's been days. Apologize if it's been days, for real. I'm sorry. Whatever. And then call them back when they want you to call them back. It's ridiculous. Or just stop being friends with them. Just say, like, obviously this doesn't mean anything to me.
My worthless.
Uh-huh.
And it's so funny because I was telling Jack I was going to do this, and then it literally happened on the next phone call. Customer service reps, customer service people in general, where you call them or you're face-to-face with them or whatever, and, you know, oh, how can I help you? And you go, my problem is ABC. And they go, oh, yeah, I can't help you with that. And then that's what happens, just dead silence. And you're like, cool. Anyone there that can? And you have to, like, fucking pulling teeth to get them to go fucking get somebody. Mm-hmm. I had it on a speakerphone. I called, who the fuck did I call where the guy, oh, and she stayed on the phone. Oh, my fucking USPS shit. I'm on the phone with this guy, and he's like, he basically goes, oh, my system's down. Our system's down. So I was on hold for 2 hours, and he goes, to get to one person, hey, yeah, I got a problem. Oh, yeah, you can't tell me. Can you call back? Our row's system is down. And I go, okay, when do I call back? He goes, oh, call right back, and you'll get somebody else. And I'm like, you can't just fucking hand it to the person behind you? Right. Jimmy, take this call. And he's like, no, can't do that. I go, okay, give me a supervisor. Gets a supervisor, fucking tells me everything I need to know, and this fuck stayed on the phone. Because keep in mind, I've been talking to her now 10 minutes after he transferred me, and so I says to her after she helps me, I go, hey, can I just ask you, why were you able to give me all this stuff and this other guy couldn't? And he comes into the line and says something. And he goes, oh, well, you never told me what your issue was. I go, yeah, because you fucking told me to call back, you dumb fuck. Oh, God, it's so fucking aggravating. But I hate it when customer service people, when you go, yeah, I have a problem with this. And they go, oh, yeah, I'm not able to help you with that. And then it's just dead silence. And I'll play fucking poker with them. Mm-hmm. I won't respond. We'll sit here with dead air for 10 minutes until you finally go, are you still there? And I go, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So anybody there can help me? You are fucking customer service, right? Can you service the fucking customer? Oh, so aggravating.
Nobody gives a shit, too. What I think is hilarious about that is that it's people having to deal with people. And so that's your whole job is customer service. And you're just going to get somebody who's a person who decided today is not my day. And anybody who calls in with any kind of, even though that's their job, that's their whole job, every single person has a day where you call in and they're like, I don't care what your problem is. I'm having a bad day, and they can go fuck themselves.
Can I tell you what is oh, God. I've thought about if I should say this or not, but I'm going to fucking say it. It's not racist. I'm prefacing it right now.
Oh, boy.
The worst person to get customer service, old person in Boston.
That's not racist.
Black woman.
Oh, boy. That one's racist.
I'm saying old white person in Boston.
Sure.
Dude, was it you that did we go to a Pats game? No, we didn't. I was in Boston, and so if you go to a Patriots game in Boston, you have to take the Patriots train. Well, you don't have to, but you can take the Patriots train. Mm-hmm. I usually would take it from South Station. This one time I was taking it from a different station. I don't know where the fuck it's at, right, where you go. So people are I see everybody wearing Patriots gear in a certain area, so I'm just in that area, but there's no line. It's just a fucking mob of people. So what do? There's a guy at the counter. Old guy, old Boston guy. Mm-hmm. Counter, he works here.
Yeah.
Customer service. Mm-hmm. I go up to him. I go, yeah. Is this where the Patriot train comes? Yeah. Oh, okay. Is there a line, or is there anywhere I'm supposed to stand? Nah. Okay. So should I go? I mean, where do I stand? He goes, Yeah, I'll tell you what. He goes, you see that statue over there? I go, yeah. He goes, go stand there.
I fucking love this guy.
It gets better.
This guy's my favorite.
And so now I'm like, oh, he's being a smartass. I'll fucking be a smartass. I go, okay. So you know what time the train gets here? He goes, yeah, when it gets here. Motherfucker. Motherfucker.
When it gets here, that's the greatest
I'm
guy
like, this
in the
fucking
world.
cunt.
This guy is my favorite guy.
So I walk over to my buddy. He goes,
And that doesn't happen to you a lot.
oh,
This
dude,
makes
he
it
fucking
even
got me that
sweeter.
motherfucker.
When it gets here, that is the go fuck yourself
Oh,
dildo.
yeah.
Oh, boy.
And I was so ready to be like, oh, you want to play this fucking game? All right, buddy. When's it get here? When it gets here, go fuck yourself.
You had like this briefcase, and you went
dude.
click, click, and outpoured a ton of questions, right? You had a briefcase filled with to the brim with questions, and you picked one out, and you went, because I got more in here.
Oh, yeah.
And he just goes,
Yeah, and then slammed it shut
Slammed
on my
your fucking-
fingers. Oh,
and all of a sudden now you can't fucking get it open because you're like, God damn it.
oh, dude, I was so fucking pissed. And yeah, so that's my worthless is fucking customer service people that just don't give a fuck. Like, why are you in customer service?
That is the best.
Oh.
Oh my God. Your worthless is now my worthy. Oh, it's the worthy of the week. When it gets here.
All right, do you want to plug your let's plug your recording?
Yes, come to, if you're in the Pasadena area, Ice House Comedy Club, 2 shows, 7 o'clock, 9 p.m. It's the last plug you're going to get before the album comes out. And it's actually going to be under 800 Pound Gorilla. And they're going to put it out to SiriusXM and iTunes and Pandora and all that. But tickets are free. There is a link in my bio at Kane Holloway on Instagram. And you can also go to the link Cool Beans Comedy /Kane Holloway. 2 chances to see me and 2 different sets. So if you decide if you decide you want tickets to second show, it's going to be completely different jokes from me. I don't know about anybody else on the lineup, but
And I'll plug Wednesday. I'll be at Comedy Union.
so tonight.
Yes, there you go for the. It's their balling on a budget. Everything's $5, $5 entry, $5 drinks, $5 food. Shows are always packed. I think they always sell out. To hear more hosts it, who's awesome, and I'll be doing time on that.
Maybe I can get a set and run my album recording.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, and then you could also possibly catch me at Kane's album recording, but we don't know.
We don't know.
After I canceled fucking work for it.
But I called him, or I talked to you to let you know about it.
Great.
It's not like I
So
text
guess
you.
we'll see. Maybe I'll be watching it like everyone else.
I'm not like in 100% control of the thing, and so.
Oh.
I mean,
God, I just wish you knew what it felt like. You know, like when somebody tells you have a gig,
right,
and then you find out it's canceled after you pass up work. What must that feel like? I just wish you knew how that felt.
I know exactly what that feels like.
Oh,
it's not good. And we can have a connection in that way.
Are you gonna go? Oh, the booker. The booker.
I mean, I did tell the booker. I don't know. You can maybe.
Well, then I guess it's fucking decided then, right? Guess I'll be doing time. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.